Welcome to CYC News for today, the 3rd of November 2013 and the 21st of Baba, 17:30 AM. I'm Julia Gundi.
And I'm Daniel Noor. In today's headlines, Brotherhood youth harass Copts, deface walls of the Church of the Virgin Mary in Zaytoun. Silent protest with candles in memory of the victims of the Warraq church attack. The Lebanese Security Chief is in ongoing negotiations with kidnappers of abducted Syrian bishops. Iraqi Christians commemorate the 3rd anniversary of a Baghdad Church Massacre. One person is killed in a Los Angeles airport shooting, and Toronto Mayor Rob Ford refuses to resign over the drug video.
Starting in Egypt, where on Friday, Muslim Brotherhood supporters attacked the famous Virgin Mary Church in Zaytoun, eastern Cairo, and chanted offensive phrases against Copts and Pope Tawadros. Clashes broke out between the marchers and some Coptic youth who tried to prevent the attack on the church. While they were passing the two-man Bay Street in Zaytoun district, the Brotherhood supporters participating in the march chanted slogans such as "We sacrifice our lives for Islam" and Islamic. Brotherhood supporters remain angry at the violence employed by the Egyptian military during the Rabaa al-Adawiya mosque attacks in August this year. The Cairo Court of Appeal, headed by Judge Nabil Salib, has identified November the 4th for trials against former President Mohamed Morsi. 14 leaders of the Muslim Brotherhood implicated in the torture of protesters at the Federal Palace on December 5th the last year are also set to be tried.
And in front of St. Mark's Cathedral, the families of victims of the Warraq church attack held a silent protest. Protesters displayed images of the victims. Gunmen opened fire on a wedding at the Virgin Mary Church in Warraq, murdering 5 Copts and wounding 18 others on Monday, November the 20th. One of the organisers demanded the state compensate the victims' families. A number of the wounded victims have suffered permanent handicaps and have thus called on the government to find jobs for them. To North Korea, where the 10th Assembly of the World Council of Churches, which was held last 7 years ago, is taking place from October the 30th to November the 8th. This 10-day communion of several thousand members of different churches will be held at a Presbyterian church in Busan. His Grace Bishop Angelos, Bishop of UK Diocese, represents the Coptic Orthodox Church in the Assembly. The World Council of Churches is a fellowship of churches representing close to 600 million people in 150 countries and is a long-standing partner of the World YWCA and the YWCA movement worldwide. The World YWCA will therefore be represented at the Assembly by its General Secretary, Ni Raida Zai Gumbo Zayaa. The Assembly's theme, God of Life, Lead Us to Justice and Peace, sets the tone for the work ahead and will be the occasion for theological discussions, worship and planning. Reverend Dr. Olav Fiske-Tevet, World Council of Churches General Secretary, shared earlier that one of the many objectives of the Assembly.
Moderator, it's wonderful to have this opportunity to talk with you. Tell us a little bit about the past 7 years, I think it's been, that you have been serving.
Well, a pleasure, Angelique, and those 7 years have been extremely significant for me personally. Already as a teenager, I had within the Lutheran Church, but its relations are very deep, intense, ecumenical commitment, and this actually was throughout my life in various positions. So it has been a real great honor and privilege to serve the WCC in that position.
Lebanese General Security Chief Abbas Ibrahim said that he has received information on the location of the 2 detained Syrian bishops, Bolas Yazigi and Yohanna Ibrahim, who were kidnapped on April 22. According to the Lebanese National News Agency, Ibrahim refused to set a time to secure their release, saying, "We are now indirectly communicating with the kidnappers. This is a crucial point upon which we can build so as to reach conclusions." He added that the General Security is carrying out its role in accordance with the laws, regulations, and the granted powers on the security and political security levels. Speaking about the difficulty of the issue, Ibrahim noted that no one has claimed responsibility yet. He added that a deacon who was accompanying the bishops was killed immediately so as not to be a witness. We spent 4 months trying to identify their whereabouts and their kidnappers, which is a key point in negotiation, so we know with whom we will negotiate, Ibrahim said. He further stated, about a month ago, we were able to communicate with the person who informed us about the location of the 2 bishops, and we started negotiations on this basis.
The 3rd anniversary of the massacre of the Our Lady of Deliverance Syriac Catholic Church in the Karada district of Baghdad was carried out by Al-Qaeda during a Sunday Mass on October the 31st, 2010, and claimed 50 lives, still stirs painful memories for Iraqi Christians. The Christians remember the courage of a 3-year-old child who cried out, "Enough, enough," until he died. The child was Adam O'Day Zuhair Arab, who died with his father inside the church and has become a symbol of the victims of that massacre. Christians in Iraq have called for the establishment of a monument in Adam's memory in a square in the Karada district of Baghdad, while others have demanded the Vatican to name him a saint for his courage. In the same vein, a number of Christian singers and poets have dedicated their compositions to his courage. Most of the writings about that massacre mention the courage of this child and have extended condolences to his family as well as Christians, particularly in writings by Muslim poets.
Officials say 1 person has died and 7 people were wounded, 1 critically, during a shooting at Los Angeles International Airport. The Transportation Security Administration said a number of its employees were injured, 1 fatally. A lone suspect, whom law enforcement officials named to US media as 23-year-old Paul Ciancia, was wounded by police and detained. Flights in and out of the busy airport were temporarily halted. LA Airport Police Chief Patrick Gannon told reporters a lone shooter came into Terminal 3 at 9:20 local time. The suspect then proceeded to a security screening area and continued shooting.
Witness Brian Keach told the Associated Press news agency he had heard about a dozen gunshots from inside the security gate at Terminal 3. Authorities actively engaged the shooter, during which time the suspect was wounded and later arrested, Mr. Gannon added. The Transportation Security Administration later issued a statement reporting multiple transportation security officers were shot, 1 fatally. A local hospital official told reporters one of the injured was listed in critical condition, while 2 other victims were listed as being in fair condition.
Toronto Mayor Rob Ford has refused to quit after Canadian police said they received a video appearing to show him smoking from a cocaine pipe. Mr. Ford, who has denied smoking crack cocaine, said he had no reason to resign. Police have not gone into detail about the content of the mobile phone footage, but say it is consistent with previous media descriptions. The saga has captivated the city since reports surfaced in May of the video's existence. The video, first brought into light by journalists who reported seeing it, has never been released publicly. Earlier, Toronto Police Chief Bill Blair told media of the video they had recovered from a computer hard drive, the contents of which he said contained video images which appear to be those video images previously reported in the press. Police have not filed criminal charges against Mayor Ford in connection with the video.
Indonesia has summoned Australia's ambassador amid reports that Australian embassies have been used as part of a US-led spying network in Asia. The Sydney Morning Herald reported that diplomatic posts in Asia were being used to intercept phone calls and data. China has also demanded an explanation from the US over the allegations. The reports were based on a US National Security Agency document leaked by whistleblower Edward Snowden. The document, which was originally published by German newspaper Der Spiegel, describes a signals intelligence program called Stateroom, which involves the interception of radio, telecommunications and internet traffic using equipment in the US, British Australian and Canadian diplomatic missions.
A potential new HIV treatment has a profound and unprecedented impact on the virus, according to animal studies published in the journal Nature. Potent antibodies were able to wipe a hybrid of human and monkey immunodeficiency viruses from the bloodstream of monkeys within days. The findings could revolutionize the search for an HIV cure, say experts. The US researchers said trials in patients with HIV now need to take place. The immune system produces precisely targeted antibodies to take out HIV, but the virus is able to rapidly mutate to evade the immune assault. However, some antibodies have been discovered that target the conserved parts of HIV, those that the virus struggles to change because they are vital for it to function.
Cases of breast cancer in women under 40 are rising across Europe, research suggests. Experts say it is unclear whether this is due to improved diagnosis or new risk factors. A study in cancer epidemiology found cases rose by about 1% a year between 1990 and 2008 in 7 countries. Breast cancer is the most common cause of cancer among women globally and the leading cause of cancer death. Cancer in young women is rare. Only about 5% of all breast cancers are in women under the age of 40.
Despite this, it is the leading cause of death in young adult women. Researchers in France and Italy studied trends in breast cancer in women under 40 in Belgium, Bulgaria, France, Italy, Portugal, Spain, and Switzerland over an 18-year period. They found that on average, cases rose by about 1% a year in women under 40, with the greatest rise in women under 35. It is unclear if this is due to a rise in risk factors or improving methods of diagnosis, they say.
And that's all for CYC News today. Stay tuned for more Christian content on CYC. I'm Daniel Newell.
And I'm Julia Gundi from the CYC studios in Sydney, Australia. Good night and God bless.